All right, court's on the record, Commerce City Municipal Court for the afternoon session of June 17th of 2021. For the people that are on Zoom, I need you to go ahead and put your devices on mute for now. I will tell you to unmute it when it's time for your case to be called. For the people that are in the courtroom, when I call your name, I'm going to ask you to come forward to one of the three stations at the front. While you're there, I need you to speak loudly and clearly. One of my responsibilities today is to make sure that everything that you say gets properly recorded. After you're done at the station, I'll direct you to see my clerks in the lobby. Their windows are located to the left once you've exited through the double doors at the rear of the courtroom. When you leave the courtroom, you do need to go out through those double doors, but you do not need to go out through the metal detector. Please make a left before going to the left. Or when you leave go through the double doors, go to the left. And ma'am, I don't know where you got that chair, but I need that chair put back where it was. You guys can sit 6 feet apart until the case is over, okay?
The courtroom looked this morning.
No.
There are like 30 chairs.
All right, court's on the record regarding PM-3061, Teresa Luna. If Teresa Luna would come forward to station number 1, please. All right. I have a document that alleges the unlawful use of fireworks on April 17th of 2021 at 8:50 in the evening in the area of 11757 Fraser Street. Looking at the document, the city attorney is elected to dismiss this case. When you go to the windows in the lobby and see my clerks, they'll give you a copy of the order of dismissal, and then you are free to leave. Obviously, with the 4th of July coming up, the city is really strongly enforcing the fireworks ban this year. Please don't allow people to engage in the use of fireworks on your property, okay? If you go to the windows, see my clerks, they'll give you the order of dismissal. Do you have any questions? This one, unfortunately, is not eligible to be sealed. There's no what we call a concurrent state law violation that matches up with it because it's strictly a local ordinance. And as such, it's not eligible to be sealed. But thank you for asking. Most people don't get that. Thank you. Samantha Sanchez, if you would come to station number 2, please. Good afternoon.
Is that better? Can we?
Ms. Furley, could I ask you to go ahead and put your device on? Thank you. Mute. I'll tell you when to unmute it when I'm ready to call your case. All right. Ms. Sanchez, first I have a request to amend the date of violation from May 1st of 2021 to April 30th of 2021. Since this is a first appearance date, I'm going to go ahead and grant that request. I'll note that the date of violation is hereby amended. Second, I have a document that alleges that on April 30th of 2021 in the area of 7680 Highway 2 here in Commerce City, you violated the city ordinance by allowing an animal at large. Also, there's a violation of the city ordinance regarding an animal attack. Do you understand what it is that you're charged with? All right, the city attorney said that he reviewed the elements of both the charges with you. In other words, he explained what he would have to prove in order for you to be found guilty of these charges. Did he do that? Yeah. Okay, and it's my understanding that you wish to plead not guilty to committing these offenses. Is that correct? All right. Did you watch the advisement of rights video? All right, I'm going to enter your not guilty pleas. We'll schedule the case for a trial to the court. If there's any witnesses that you wish to have present on the date of your trial that you believe will not appear in court voluntarily, let my clerk know. She'll issue subpoenas for you free of charge, or he or she. Will issue the subpoenas for you free of charge. They'll explain how the subpoenas need to be served on your witnesses in order to have them effectively ordered to appear on the date of your trial. If you wish to get copies of the police officer's notes or the reports related to your case, let my clerks know. They'll make those reports available to you. So when you go to the windows, you'll get the trial date, subpoenas if you ask for them, copies of the reports if you ask for those. Do you have any questions? An 11-year-old? Yes, they can come as a witness. I will simply ask them some preliminary questions before going forward with their testimony to discern whether or not he's competent to testify. Okay, the cutoff technically is 10, but it's always up to the judge to decide whether or not the child is competent to testify from actually 12 below. It's really weird the way that competency rule is written. But I always, just to cover myself, ask the preliminary questions. Okay, any other questions? Okay, then go ahead and go to the windows in the lobby, see my clerks. All right, Ofe Fonseca, if you would come to station number 3, the lectern in the middle. Good afternoon. I have a document that indicates that you're pleading guilty to the charge of having an animal at large on May 15th of 2021, shortly before 8 o'clock in the morning in the area of 6481 Newport Street here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this charge?
Yes.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video? Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this charge, you're waiving your right to be represented by an attorney in this case?
Yes.
You're also waiving your right to be presumed innocent of the original charge unless and until the city attorney is able to establish your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt at trial, because by pleading guilty to this reduced charge, you're waiving your right to have a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You're giving up your rights to confront and cross-examine any witnesses that the city attorney would call in support of the original charge against you. You're giving up your right to present evidence on your own behalf, including calling witnesses on your own behalf. And if your witnesses would not appear in court voluntarily, to have the court issue subpoenas for you free of charge, which could then be used by you to have your witnesses ordered to appear on the date of your trial. You're giving up your rights during the course of a trial to testify or to remain silent. And if it was your choice to remain silent, the fact that you did so could not and would not be used against you to establish your guilt. If at the end of the trial you were found guilty of the original charge, the animal at large charge, you would have the right to appeal that decision to a higher court. Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this charge today, you're giving up all of those trial and appeal related rights?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this charge against your will?
No.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea? Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No.
Okay, I'm going to have to repeat the question because I need to make a clear record. Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No.
Then to the charge of having an animal at large on May 15th of 2021 here in Commerce City, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty? I'll accept your guilty plea. I'll find it's knowing, intelligently, and voluntarily made, with a full understanding of the rights being waived as well as the possible consequences. What kind of dog is Remington?
German Shepherd Labrador mix.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a puppy.
let me read this. Okay. So the German Shepherd Lab mix is Remington. Do you know who the long-haired white dog belonged
We
to?
don't own a white dog in our family. I also pointed that out to the officers.
Mhm.
We own a completely black dog. We have a large pit bull terrier,
Mhm.
which the officer already knew that wasn't the one. We
It
have
was-
a Remington and then my personal dog, but I can testify that the dog was in my room with me when the accident occurred.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's just that there was 4 dogs altogether in the neighbor's yard. The German Shepherd was only one of them.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm going to impose a fine. Was there anything else you wanted me to consider?
I don't live in the area. I was visiting my mom, helping her out with her business while I'm currently on break from school.
Well, whose dog is Remington?
Remington is my younger brother's dog.
Okay, how old is your younger brother?
He just, he's 17.
Okay,
He's married.
all right. But you're willing to accept responsibility for what his dog did?
Yes.
All right. Fine's going to be $40 plus surcharges plus court costs. Make sure you get that section of the fence fixed and maybe block it so that they can't even get to it.
So yeah, we did that. So we made it so the fence is 10 meters before the actual fence, and we are currently working to get our fence even higher than it was. meant to be.
Okay, good.
It's an old house.
I know. Yeah, I know the address. So yeah, just do what you need to, okay? If you go to the windows in the lobby, see my clerks, they'll tell you the total workout payment arrangements. Thank you. Jocelyn James, if you would unmute your device, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hi. All right, let's see what I've got here. I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, this is a 2-point violation. Then the city, and do a level 1 driving class, the city attorney will dismiss the original careless driving charge from April 15th of 2021 at 8:32 in the morning in the area of 104th and Highway 2 here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes, Your Honor.
It looks like he's dismissing the child restraint charge as well. Did he tell you he would dismiss that too?
Yes, he did.
All right. Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, I did.
To go through some of those rights with you. Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're waiving your right to be represented by an attorney in this case?
Yes, sir.
You're also waiving your right to be presumed innocent of both of the original charges, unless and until the city attorney is able to establish your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt at trial, because by pleading guilty to this reduced charge, you're waiving your right to have a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You're giving up your rights to confront and cross-examine any witnesses that the city attorney would call in support of the original charge against you. You're giving up your right to present evidence on your own behalf, including calling witnesses on your own behalf. And if your witnesses would not appear in court voluntarily, to have the court issue subpoenas for you free of charge, which could then be used by you to have your witnesses ordered to appear on the date of your trial. You're giving up your rights during the course of a trial to testify or to remain silent. And if it was your choice to remain silent, the fact that you did so could not and would not be used against you to establish your guilt. If at the end of the trial you were found guilty of either one of the original charges, you would have the right to appeal that decision to a higher court. Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're giving up all of those trial and appeal related rights?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation on April 15th of 2021 here in Commerce City, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
No, sir.
Give me just a moment. I need to do 2 things. 1, check your driving record, and 2nd, I need to see what the accident report says. Okay, your driving record shows a ticket from February 21st of this year here in Commerce City. Is that entry correct?
Yes, sir.
And then, let's see. On May 23rd of 2020, you picked up a ticket in Jefferson County. Is that entry correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. And nobody was hurt in this accident, including you, correct?
Correct.
All right. Your scheduled fine in this case is $200. I'm going to impose the $200 fine. I'm going to suspend half, $100, because I'm going to order that you do the level 1 driving class pursuant to the agreement you entered into. All right. My clerks are going to reach out to you by email, either later today, certainly by tomorrow. They'll work out the payment arrangements for the non-suspended portion of the fine, the $100 plus surcharges plus court costs. They'll give you a referral to the class, and they're going to give you a deadline of about 6 weeks within which to complete the class. You need to contact these people right away, get the class scheduled, and get the class completed. It's your responsibility to make sure that you turn in the certificate of completion by the deadline my clerks give you, okay? If you run into problems getting it scheduled or getting it done, it's important that you contact my court and ask for an extension, because it's easier to get permission than it is to give forgiveness. So get the class done, turn in the certificate of completion. When you finish the class, make 2 extra copies of that certificate of completion, because I don't know if your insurance company is going to treat this as an at-fault accident, but with this being your 3rd ticket in such a short period of time, they may try to raise your insurance rates. It's possible that your insurance company could give you a discount for doing a driving class. You know, doesn't hurt to try. So send a copy of the certificate of completion to your insurance company, and also just save an extra copy just in case you ever find yourself down at DMV. So original comes to the court, copy for your insurance, copy for DMV just in case. Do you have any questions about what's expected of you?
No, I do not.
Okay, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Just keep your eye out for that email from my clerks either later today or tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, Alexandra Furley, if you would unmute your device.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Okay, I have a document first asking me to set aside the default that entered in this case. So give me just a second while I look that up. All right. All right, the default entered on May 26th of 2021 is hereby vacated. All right, the second document I have says that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation on, then the city attorney will dismiss the unsafe lane change charge from February 8th of 2021 at about 8 o'clock in the evening in the area of 104th and Highway 85 here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
I did.
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're waiving your right to be represented by an attorney in this case?
Yes, sir.
You're also waiving your right to be presumed innocent of the original charge unless and until the city attorney is able to establish your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt at trial, because by pleading guilty to this reduced charge, you're waiving your right to have a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're giving up your rights to confront and cross-examine any witnesses that the city attorney would call in support of the original charge against you. You're giving up your right to present evidence on your own behalf, including calling witnesses on your own behalf. And if your witnesses would not appear in court voluntarily, to have the court issue subpoenas for you free of charge, which could then be used by you to have your witnesses ordered to appear on the date of your trial. You're giving up your rights during the course of the trial to testify or to remain silent. And if it was your choice to remain silent, the fact that you could not and would not be used against you to establish your guilt. If at the end of the trial you were found guilty of the original charge, you would have the right to appeal that decision to a higher court. Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're giving up all of those trial and appeal related rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation on February 28th of 2021 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
Your Honor, I would like for you to take into consideration that I just had to pay $1,000 deductible for my vehicle. I did want to try and fight this ticket just because I know that you weren't there and nobody could see what happened, but that's why I'm pleading guilty to the reduced charge. But just for the fees and stuff like that, I would like for you to take into consideration that I don't have a lump sum to pay at the moment.
Okay, well, my clerk's can work out a payment plan. Obviously, there's 2 aggravating factors. One is the collision itself. The other is that your driving record shows a ticket from Thornton from May of last year. Is that entry correct?
I don't,
You have a 4-point ticket on your record from Thornton from last year for careless driving. It looks like you took care of it in July of 2020.
then probably if I did, if I took care of it, that's probably why I don't remember.
Looks like it did. That would have been on the arraignment date.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. All right, I've set aside the default. Your scheduled fine with the accident, the original charge, the plea bargain charge, and the aggravating factor is $200. I'm going to reduce your fine. I can't reduce it much. I can only reduce it to $160 plus surcharges plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerks will reach out to you by email. They'll tell you the total. When you get that total, ask them and they can set you up on a payment plan. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can go ahead and leave the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Today?
Yeah,
Do we have an attorney for you?
yes, Abby's gonna be on
Cool.
this.
I don't see, I don't know what this says.
On $100 monthly payment plan, extension request fines. So he's requesting a payment plan, but he's already on. Or he wants a payment plan for himself.
Boy, I'm glad you did.
Is that something?
I don't know. I can look it up though, see if that's him. Are you Adrian Ambrosio Guerrero? Okay, go ahead and come up to station 1. Oh, shoot. Give me a second. I show that you owed 185 starting, or it was due last week. So I need to double check something. No, it looks like we're good. Okay, so you pled guilty to violations. I imposed fines and costs of 185 due on June 9th of 2021. I have a note here that says that you're requesting an extension. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it's just because, currently going through a lot right now, my brother keep me out, and, definitely with me right now. Back up on what payments and stuff right now.
But normally I do $50 every 2 weeks. I have here something that says you want to basically pay $100 and then a month later pay the balance. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, but like I said, because I'm currently unemployed, because now I'm working for UPS, there's too many COVID cases going on, yeah, and, I thought, I don't have any bank accounts, anything, I could have made a payment if I had to, but, the office here for the payments were closed. I don't have a bank,
Doesn't it make more sense for me to set it out a little bit further and not have you pay that much? If you don't have a job, all it's gonna.
I have currently just got employed for airport black sheep. Same thing like UPS or thingy, but I'm able to make changes cash tomorrow or
Okay, well, why don't I have you just pay like $50 by next Wednesday? That way, in case you get paid tomorrow, you've got time for it to process. And then every 2 weeks thereafter. Does that work better for you?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'll go ahead and put you on a payment plan of $50 every 2 weeks, starting on, let's see, today's the 17th. But I'll have you start $50 every 2 weeks on June 23rd, okay? All right, go ahead and go to the windows and see my clerks. They will give you the payment schedule. You too. So do you want me to do this one as an order from in here or a C1M?
Order.
An order? Okay,
Yeah, because then that comes to me, right?
yeah.
I screw something up, I do brand passion. All right. Mr. May was the man, old man who fell like behind the door.
I heard about him, but I didn't know what it
Okay.
was.
And he was a mess and paramedics were talking to him.
Mhm,
So I was under the impression he was here for these 2 tickets.
okay.
So I dismissed them in the interest of mercy. And I think he said something like he had another ticket, which I then said, well, I'll dismiss that when it comes to me.
Mhm.
Okay. I didn't realize though, that he had already paid 3145.
Go
I
ahead.
don't know, man. There's a lot of,
I know.
and you know, they just say, oh, I have another ticket. He didn't say that other ticket. Anyway, so I don't know how to fix this mess.
So did he have another ticket on top of the 2 you dismissed?
I dismissed the wrong ticket. I
get
dismissed the ticket that he already paid. So yeah, he had 3 total.
Okay, what happened to the third one?
I'm dismissing it. I didn't know. No one gave me the third one, so I only thought he had 2 tickets, and I didn't realize that one of the tickets he had already paid. I didn't have all the tickets.
All right, so I'll have to refund him that one, and you're dismissing all 3 is what it turns out.
Well, I was kind of hoping, I sort of assumed you could not refund him.
It's not easy, but it can be done.
He paid it prior to coming to court?
Yeah,
What's the? what's the
3145. is what-
EP?
On April 15th,
It's an EP though, right?
yeah. And then, so he was in court May 27th.
Maybe he just wanted to talk to you about the $2 amount.
I have no idea at this point.
Oh, so you just want to make sure because you don't want him to be like,
Well, no, what I really want in my perfect world is he already paid EP 3145, so he has to pay it. I mean, he already paid it.
yeah.
So that's water under the bridge,
Well,
but we may have dismissed it, probably. We dismissed the ticket that he already paid, maybe.
I don't know. I'm checking,
No, Patty received
no, I haven't dismissed it. It's not dismissed.
Okay, good.
When was he in here?
May 27th.
No, it should have been in there.
Yes?
Oh,
No, it's not,
Oh, yeah, but this is-
it's not in there. You just saw it. It's not a document showing the dismissal. And it's not in here showing it's dismissed. I didn't deal with it at all.
okay, well, then I want to dismiss these two.
Okay,
That's old rule level.
all right.
I don't know what happened, but,
I don't know what happened either.
so actually it's no harm, no foul,
Right,
because you already paid that one, so we just have to dismiss these two.
right. So we need this amended to, what's the other case number? 3-1, we've gotten 6647, so it's 3547.
of computing.
Vamos a ver si pueden, que me den una extensión.
Tenemos 3.
All right, Jose Hernandez, can you hear me?
Yes, I could.
All right, we're going to need to reset your case for a time and date when your parents can be present. It's my understanding they may need an interpreter, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, I can set it either for next Wednesday, the 23rd, or we can give them a little bit of time to arrange one of them to be off work. I can set it up to July 14th. What do you think works better?
What do you think works? Or when do my parents not work?
They don't work Mondays, both of them.
Mondays? I guess they don't work Mondays.
Yeah, that's not going to do it. It's either Wednesday or third. Well, actually, it's only Wednesdays. That's when we have interpreters here. So either next Wednesday or Wednesday, the 14th of July. I would think the 14th of July, that way they can arrange for one of them to get off work.
All off? Okay.
All right. What do you think is better, morning or afternoon?
And,
Afternoon?
yeah.
We'll do afternoon.
All right, so I'm going to reset your case to July 14th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You can do it by Zoom or do it in person on that day, but one of your parents has to be with you, okay?
July 14th at 1 p.m.?
Yep, and we're going to send you an email notice reminding you of the next court date that they can take with them to show them that they have to be present. Okay?
Morning? Okay, actually, could you change it to the morning?
8:30 or 10?
10.
10.
All right, we'll change it to July 14th at 10 o'clock. We'll send you the notice by email. You can go ahead and leave the meeting.
All right, thank you.